All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about something pretty revolutionary, a way to build a web app without writing a single line of code. I mean, what if you could just describe your idea and have it become a reality? Sounds kind of like magic, right? Well, let's get into it.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had that light bulb moment? That brilliant, maybe even million-dollar idea for an app, but then, boom, you hit a brick wall, the coding wall. You don't know how to program, so the idea just sits there. It's a super common frustration, right? So many amazing ideas get stuck at this exact point.
And for years, the only way past that wall was, well, not great. You either had to find and hire super expensive developers, or you had to dive into the steep and, let's be honest, often frustrating world of learning to code yourself. But a totally new way is emerging. A way where you just describe what you want to an AI, and then you get to watch it come to life. Yeah, really.
This new approach, it's called vibe coding, and it is a total paradigm shift. We're talking about a new way to turn your vision into actual, working reality. It's a huge deal, and it is absolutely changing the game for creators.
So, what is vibe coding exactly? Let's break it down. Basically, it's the process of building an app by using prompts, just plain English, to guide an AI, a large language model or LLM. You give it the vibe, the description, the feel, and the AI spits out the code for you. It's way more like having a conversation than it is like a traditional coding session.
And look, this isn't some far-off, futuristic idea. It's happening right now for really practical stuff. I mean, just think about it. Getting a prototype built in an afternoon instead of waiting a month. Or imagine your marketing team building their own custom tool without having to bother an engineer. It's all about speed, efficiency, and just tearing down those technical walls that used to stop people.
Okay, so the concept makes sense, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's dive into some of the top tools out there on the market today that are making all this vibe coding stuff a reality.
Now, before we get to the tools themselves, I want you to see how we rated them. It's not random. We focused heavily on output quality and speed, because at the end of the day, you need something that actually works and you need it fast, right? After that, we looked at how easy it is to use and what features it has. And finally, of course, we consider the price.
Okay, here's the thing. There's no single best tool for everyone. It really depends on what you need. So, for example, Hostinger Horizons, super user-friendly. A great place to start if you're new to all this. But say you're a developer who wants to plug this into your existing workflow. Then Base44's GitHub feature is a total killer. And then you've got Lovable, which is just all about insane speed. We're talking one prompt to a working app, like almost instantly.
All right, now let's talk about some specialized tools because not everyone needs a general builder. Take Glide. If your idea is all about data, this thing is an absolute game changer. Seriously, imagine you have this huge, complicated Google Sheet for inventory. Glide can take that boring old spreadsheet and turn it into a fully functional, searchable app for your team. And it could do it in minutes. It's wild.
Okay, but what if you're not trying to build the next big thing for the public? What if you just need something for your own team? That's exactly where a tool like Softer shines. It's built specifically for non-tech people to create those essential internal tools, like a client portal or a tracking system. It means your project manager can just build it themselves, no more waiting in line for the engineering department.
And finally, let's talk about the look and feel. For those of you who really obsess over the user experience, how it all flows, how it interacts, Bubble is an absolute powerhouse. It's a specialist in the front end, which is just a fancy way of saying everything your user actually sees and touches. It gives you this incredible level of control to design something truly beautiful and intuitive. All right, so you've seen the tools, you get the big idea. Now, for the most important part, how do you actually do this? How do you start vibe coding your very first app? The good news is the process is surprisingly straightforward. The biggest thing is shifting your mindset away from code and towards communication. First, you pick your tool. Then, you just describe the core purpose of your website in plain English. After that, you list out the features you want, kind of like a bulleted list. And from there, it's just a conversation. You use more prompts to refine and tweak things until it's exactly what you envisioned. So, what makes a good prompt? Let's look at this example. I need a website that would help people in my city sign up for playing sports. See how it's not just make me a sports app? It's specific. It states the goal, signing up for sports. It defines the user, people in my city. And then it lists concrete features, like creating events and showing a map. The key takeaway here is this. The more specific your vibe is, the better the AI's result will be.
Okay, now as amazing as all this is,
It's not magic. It's important to be realistic. This technology is new, and it definitely has its limits. So let's do a quick reality check, a vibe check if you will, and talk about the challenges you absolutely need to keep in mind.
The first big risk is something called hallucinations, and it's a weird one. The AI can build code and workflows that look right, and it'll be completely confident about it, but it's just plain wrong. It's like it's making stuff up. This can lead to bugs, features that don't work, or even worse, serious security flaws hiding just under the surface.
Next up, there's the risk of over-reliance. It's so tempting to just let the AI do everything. But if you do that, your own skills, your ability to spot problems, to optimize things, to design a good structure, they can start to get rusty. Think of it like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. This is a tool to help you, not a replacement for your brain.
And that leads us to the last big risk, blind spots. It's the classic, you don't know what you don't know problem. If you don't have some development knowledge, how can you really test for things like security or legal compliance or even fairness? You could, completely by accident, build an app that has huge ethical or functional problems that you just can't even see.
And all this brings us to one final, really important question. The AI can build the app, for sure, but can it build the vision? See, vibe coding is an absolutely incredible tool. It's lowering the barrier to entry for so many people. But the strategy, the creativity, the critical oversight from a human being, well, that still has to come from you. And you know what? That's where the real power is.